go. Crash and flow.
Every once in a while, I go down these paths where I watch like a bunch of Tom Cruise movies back to back.
Right.
So I just did Denzel. I was watching a couple Denzel movies. And I watched the most recent one, is that the newest Equalizer movie. It's the same as everything else. It's trying to be John Wick, but it's an elder, stately black man, right? With a shadowy past who knows how to kill people real well. So it's essentially John Wick, but it's just fun to watch because he's such a damn good actor, right? Even if it's just a regular throwaway action movie, it's Denzel doing the work, and somehow it makes it all worthwhile.
I think so. I think that guy can make those kind of movies.
So get this.
Yeah.
Have you watched Man on Fire? No doubt.
Of course.
Right. That movie was fantastic, right?
Yeah.
And you remember Dakota Fanning,
Right.
right? So in Equalizer 3 or 4, whatever the newest Equalizer is,
Yeah.
Dakota Fanning is in that movie as well.
Oh man.
Right. And it's not like the same roles or anything like that,
That
but
would
you
be
can
funny.
definitely see like the people who are making the movie and the directors and whatnot, they know what they're doing. They knew what they were doing. Like they wanted to give her a cool role across from him. Kind of like a wink wink to that previous movie. And that's the first time we see them on screen together since she was a kid.
Yeah.
And that was fun to watch, dude. I gotta admit, it was really cool to see. Also, shout out to Dakota Fanning for
Keeping her shit together.
yeah,
It's true, man.
because there's not many of those.
Dude, you know what? The more you look into it, it's rough. It's almost as if you shouldn't be acting as a child.
No, it's exactly that.
Yeah.
Either that, or you should be. If you want to act as a child, you gotta be. Your parent needs to be
Present.
very present.
Yeah. Needs to be there.
Yeah.
Not doing cocaine.
Not doing anything else. Like
No.
eyes on child the entire time. Have you seen Quiet on Set?
Yeah, I saw a bit of that and it got really weird. I was like, let me just stop here. It's late.
Because you know what? The parents that they do interview, for the most part, are the ones that were around. I remember this. It was it was a black mom, and she was present.
Yeah.
Right. And then immediately when she saw crazy, like weird shit happen, she's like, "My baby's going home." Right. And then nothing happened to her baby. And now I'm not blaming I know whatever circumstances, but I am saying is that the ones that were the ones who I saw like the interviews.
Yeah.
And whatever episode I watched, I didn't watch all of them because again, this might be a little too much. But if the parent is present for the most part, it can kind of insulate it because that's what they were doing. They were hoping for a parent to not be around so they could target that particular kid. And the other thing was that parents kind of felt like their kid might be given more roles or like preferential treatment if I'm not there, essentially. So it was kind of like rewarded. They were rewarding the parent with giving that particular kid more opportunities, the less they were around. And so it kind of incentivized the parents to be like, he's okay. She's okay. Right? There's a bunch of adults over there. And
There weren't any brown kids. We don't even get sleepovers, left alone with white
man.
people.
Yeah, we don't get
Crazy.
no sleepovers, dude. We don't get nothing.
You ever got a sleep? I got sleepovers to like, you can go to your first cousin kind of sleepover.
Yeah, that's just sleeping at family's place.
Yeah, I don't think I ever slept at a friend's house.
So I did have sleepovers, but they were at my first sleepover. It was but they were family friends, like my dad and her. Excuse me.
You sound really choked up about this. Are you sure it wasn't a Nickelodeon?
Yeah,
I got left over there.
my dad and is on
You're having such a hard time.
I'm having such a hard time for some reason. I have
Are you
no
sure
idea.
you're not blocking
Yeah.
something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Yeah. So it was just friends with my dad,
Okay.
and then but like we used to go there so often anyway. So it got to a point where like it was okay for me to sleep over. Like their son was about the same age as me.
Okay.
So that was that. But it was like Muslim after like 3 years of vetting, right? Of like
sense.
the person. So that was it.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like I couldn't just go to like other people's place and sleep.
Yeah, like a high school friend's house or something.
But it's also not like I actually really wanted to do it, to be honest with you. I've always had a thing about using other people's pillows to sleep.
Right. You seem like you would have all sorts of problems, especially as a kid. As a grown up, you're like, okay, this is normal. I'm supposed to be here, right?
Right,
As
yeah.
we're cottaging.
Yes.
But as a kid, I could see you being very like darty and thinking the whole time about
just
how you're gonna do the next thing. Like,
exactly.
do I touch my butt to their toilet seat?
Should I have packed a towel? I don't want to use their towel. The towel smells like mold.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's not like it was something I really wanted to do. I really wanted to go to friends' places to like play video games because I wasn't allowed video games when I was young.
Loves, Every kid just, bro.
Put it in my veins.
I would, until you tell me to leave, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Your kid sleeping? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
What?
I'm not bothering anybody.
Yeah, as a kid, you'll justify it any which way. It's just, it's your cocaine.
So that was always like a thing that I wanted. But when it was time to go home, I never was like, oh man, I wish I could stay over. I was like, no, I'm going home.
Yeah,
I'm going home to my bed. I'm good with that.
Man, but and I had like a couple of epic sleepovers where like my cousin came from Pakistan.
Those are fun.
We played NBA Jam Tournament Edition from start to finish.
Ooh.
And
I didn't even know there's a finish.
Dude, it took 26 hours. We went to sleep after the sun came up. We went to sleep after we threw up in the morning because you can't not eat all that time. Mm-hmm. Your body goes crazy.
Yeah.
So after we threw up, we went to sleep, woke up at 4.
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah, those were the days, dude. Yeah. Those were the days. I remember going to my friend Usman's place, playing Halo and staying in that basement for so long.
I know.
That when you went upstairs for sunlight, it was like you were a vampire.
Yeah.
Dude, your head was hurting. You had barely any water left.
It should.
When you went back downstairs, the bedroom, like the basement smelled like Doritos
and boys.
Boys. just a strong stench of boys.
Yep. And you're like, what was happening? Was Fight Club happening here? You're like, nope.
Everyone's a groggy, and you're like, hey, all right. Put it back on. We gotta keep playing. Yeah. We can't. There's no stopping here.
The stamina for playing games was you think you could do it?
Almost limitless.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't think you could get tired of it? Yeah. Literally, your body would throw up and give you a headache, and you're like,
just power through.
We gotta end one more round, right? Like we can't. We gotta go one more round. You don't end mid.
Okay. Yeah, I once got a headache so bad I had to go like out, tell Auntie that I was leaving for a bit, and I walked the block trying to breathe fresh air to come back in. And it wasn't like it was time for me to go home. When you come back, you just reset. You regain, right? You keep playing. And and that's how you become a champion, I guess.
I don't even know what the motivation was. I still play some of the games I do. Like somebody's going to come in and see this and be impressed. Like, no, nobody knows this game. This is,
Dude, it's insane. Right now, also, like, because my schedule's all kind of like whacked. So I'm already thinking, I'm going to go home, I'm going to eat the fajitas, and then today would be the day that I can actually grind out some Halo. Dude, the population of the game is dwindling. Like, when it first started, it was like 100,000. I think there's only 30,000 people playing. It's gotten to the point where you keep running into the same people in the same lobbies.
So funny.
Right? So
you know remember, the people playing a global game?
Basically, yes. So every once in a while, you're getting shit on with like a particular guy, and you're like, yo, I know that gamer tag. I know that.
I got you last week. And he's like, what?
That's how familiar it is, dude. We keep playing this game that's almost dead.
Yeah, it's probably. I'm guessing the good people are left over. The people who keep coming.
It's just people who
really love this game,
who love it,
or brand new people who are just running into
who just got the game on like on cheap for cheap or whatnot. But like, what's cool though is that also there's not that many kids anymore because it's like Halo as a game. It doesn't have that many younger kids that play it anymore as it used to be. They pulled Call of Duty and Fortnite, pulled all of them. Right. And then the ones who are in our level, some of them had just been like, they're plumbers now. Like they've got 2 kids and they already have a full-time job, but they know the mechanics of the game well. Right. So they're serviceable at Diamond 2 or Diamond 3. They can still play the game at a high level, but like just regular dudes with regular jobs now, right? You just keep playing the game that they like.
This is your softball.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's fun because every once in a while you do hear adults. Like you can tell when someone's calming and they are a 35-year-old. Right. They sound very different than a 25-year-old.
That's so funny.
And also you can tell also a little bit when you're playing with an older guy.
Yeah.
They move slower around the map.
What do you mean?
Oh, so like the way how they
he's got some back pains. What do you mean?
No,
this guy's old. You can tell. So look how he's moving.
We're going into like Halo lore. I mean, Halo meta. New players utilize the movement mechanics in such a way that makes them travel around the map quicker. So this is after your time when you were playing with me.
Yeah.
So essentially every ledge that changes height, if you run off of it and click crouch right after you fall, you essentially do like a slide that's twice as fast as like a regular slide. Now, if you chain those things together, you can traverse the map very quickly. And so all of those mechanics are like new age mechanics. So only like the pros do it, and then younger people do it. But like the people who've been playing for a long time generally don't do any G slides, curd slides, or any of that stuff.
Interesting.
Right? So then what that gives you is that people on one team will play differently. So there'd be people who like to press forward very aggressively, and then after the older people, they move slower, they're methodical. They find out where they are on the grid, and then they take out one guy, and then they move and they flank, and then they move and they flank. And then like younger age players, they just try to play aggressively straight down the line, and then maybe take on two people at the same time and see maybe if they get lucky. So it's a little different play.
It's gonna be these 50-year-olds playing soon.
Soon it'll be 50-year-old players.
Because like I think you're right. The average age of the players in a game is gonna get older, and then you're gonna be like, man, there's barely any of us left.
Yeah.
It's only 20,000.
Yeah.
5,000.
I mean, there was this whole moment when they turned off the Halo 3 servers.
Oh man, great game.
And so the community knew that was the night that they were going to turn off the servers. And I forgot what it was called, but they named the last few players that stayed on the servers until the end. There was actually like an homage from Bungie, I believe, that was called the Last 21 or something like this. I forgot what it was, but essentially it was the gamer tags of the last couple people who just stayed in the lobby and just to say goodbye to the game. It was a moment. It was a moment. So like they just all talked amongst themselves, and they said that was the end of an era.
Whatever you can make to make video games real for you. Because it is, as somebody who gets it, it's still, very much like, good for you guys. It's as real as you make it,
Yeah.
It's just like, yeah, this is a thing. Yeah. I know we do it with our thumbs on a screen, but like, it's totally a thing.
It matters.
It matters.
It matters. Did you see I posted something. So the actor who plays, okay, so he's bald, glasses, black dude, tall, has a pretty good voice. Damn. He was in The Wire. John Wick. He's the guy. He's the concierge.
Oh yeah, I know that guy. That guy passed away.
He passed away, right?
Right.
Okay, so he does the voiceover and the voiceover for a character in a game called Destiny. And he also was a fan of Destiny, so he played. And it turned out that the night before he passed away, he had logged on and he was playing Destiny. Okay. And there's a character in Destiny, so like they don't have lobbies there. The lobby is an actual interactive place where people are milling around buying weapons and that other shit. And his character is actually in that area. And you can go up to him and talk to him, and he'll give you like updates of whatever's happening in the world, right? Anyway, so he passed away, and everyone who was part of Destiny was a fan. They knew that he had passed away, so they held vigils in the virtual lobby, if you will, of Destiny 2. It was such a moment. Yeah. And you can't go out to his funeral, right? So the entire gaming community that loved Destiny and knew him and liked him as a thing, and they did like a vigil on the video game.
I think that kind of stuff also like is important to mourn whichever way. Yeah. Right? Like we had Nick Nemiroff pass away. He's a local comedian. He's been on Conan a few times and stuff, and it was just like we all went to the comedy bar. Yeah. And just hung out for a while. Yeah. With a picture of Nick. Yeah. And then I was like, oh, you need to do that. Honestly.
It's a human thing.
Because if you don't do that kind of stuff, even in a video game setting, it's just like then you carry it. Yeah. Right? Like, and that's very sad. Yeah. So, you got a funeral. You have to funeral wherever the funeral is happening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it gives them the opportunity of a bunch of people. Because a lot of people, like for Destiny's a fun game, by the way. You can get a fire team, and you fight against each other. Yeah. But what's cool is that they have these raids. And essentially, it's sort of like a big co-op mission that lasts 4 hours, let's say, right? And sometimes it takes multiple tries for you to do, and you have to meet up with people and make a team. And then after you're like committed for like few hours together, and so people like build up like memories that they would never be able to do in real life, like epic battles that just only 4 people will ever know, because that's the only one that's the one that happened to them, and then the 4 other people had a completely different experience, right?
Right.
And so, like, you know, if you dump a few years playing a game and you hear this guy's voiceover for like a few years, you feel like you're connected to him somehow.
Yeah,
you know?
totally, man. Makes
That's
sense.
cool.
Voices are. That's the thing about voices.
Yeah.
Is that they do podcasts, like, you know, all of this stuff. Even
Yeah.
when you're reading a book, you read it, you try to, you know, read it in this person's voice.
Yeah.
And then you listen to their voice later and you're like, oh man,
I was off.
it was so much better in my head. You sounded smart, but it makes you feel like you connected to somebody.
Bro, can I make a recommendation with regards to an audiobook potentially?
Sure.
Okay. There is a book written by Andy Weir. I believe that's his name. He wrote The Martian.
Okay.
And did you enjoy The Martian, the movie?
Why not?
Fantastic movie, right?
Who's mad at The Martian?
Yeah, honestly, right? It's such like, who has a problem with that movie?
Yeah.
Anyway,
I bet you somebody. There's
yeah,
a whole
for sure.
podcast.
For sure. It's probably what's his name. Anyway, I'm not going to get into it.
Sure.
And Neil deGrasse Tyson. He wrote another movie called Project Hail Mary. It is a fantastic book.
Project Hail Mary.
Yeah, I think
Is
you
the
would really
Earth
much enjoy
dying
it.
and they have to do a Hail Mary to fix it?
You are scarily accurate.
It can happen.
Yeah. I mean, you already know that he's space, but like, I love
That's all I need to know.
That's well done.
No,
That's
well,
well done.
it's is it like Sunshine, the movie Sunshine, which is fantastic.
I mean, it's like there's some elements in there, yeah, for
Damn.
sure.
I've seen it. No, I haven't seen it.
No,
but
you
I
haven't
should
seen it.
check
They
it
haven't
out.
made the movie yet.
Oh, really? Then I definitely haven't seen it.
Yeah, no,
I've
they
seen
haven't.
Sunshine.
They haven't moved. Yeah, Sunshine was amazing.
Project Hail Mary. Okay.
Yeah, Project Hail Mary, very good. I don't want to tell you any more than that. Even the listener who's listening, I'm telling you that book is one of my favorite books from 2023.
Whoa.
Excuse me.
Man, you gassy. I drank a whole liter of milk on the way here. I'm feeling fine.
Right? You're not even phlegmy.
I felt horrible. I haven't eaten properly today, and then I was stopped at Shoppers, and they have this fake Joya milk, and it goes bad in 4 months, right? So you know it's not. I don't know what's in
it's
it.
not.
Says milk, but
Yeah.
stuff has happened to this milk,
Right,
Right?
yeah.
It says milk as much as a zombie is a zombie.
Yeah.
So it's yeah, friggin'. So I've been just chugging, and then you were like 10 minutes late. I'm like, I guess I'm finishing this. And now I'm like, feel like a cow.
You should try Fairlife milk.
Fairlife.
Yeah. Fairlife milk.
What's so?
It's high in protein, but they
Okay.
do it in a natural way. How they put the protein back in.
All
Essentially,
right,
I think,
Terrence Howard.
I think they just send. Thank God I pressed record over here, and thank God I pressed record over there, bro. I had no recollection
Oh
of me
man.
pressing record on either one of these things. All right, where we at? We're at like 20 something odd. Let me just show you this real quick.
What do you got?
But people who are listening, you don't even have to worry about it. All you need to do is listen, because this one is funny, just the audio. Okay, so I'm gonna set this up real quick. Apparently, there is a teacher who has an OnlyFans account. Okay,
Say word.
and I mean
A female teacher,
This
or
is a female teacher.
Okay.
Right. Thank
Of course.
you. And I don't know if this is the community's pastor or maybe just the principal, but he is outraged that a wannabe porn star is teaching their kids. But let's listen to how he describes it.
Sure.
Okay.
I'm already with him.
We got a teacher in the classroom on school hours, stripping down butt naked, bending over, and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a shame. This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication. She pulls out her breasts, and she's juggling them. Look like she about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties, spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you what's on the video. If she wants to be a porn star, based on what I saw in that video,
Maybe she retired.
I don't think she's going to make a lot of money. Based on what I
Bro.
saw in that video,
Who is this
With the
guy?
ad-libs?
status.
Who is
That's
this?
a damn shame what I saw in that video. That's sickness. But now we got a teacher.
Is this real?
in-
Is this real?
I don't know, man. I'm not double checking this thing.
Does it seem too perfect?
It does.
His
seem-
cadence and everything.
It sounds like a church preacher.
But the thing is, it could totally just be a dude giving his totally. That's just a parent or a
But
principal.
like, the thing is that he just needed to say that this is what's happening. But like, how much verification has he done? Like, he's watched the whole video a couple
watched
times.
the whole video. Is this real though?
I don't know.
Scroll down.
Right.
I want to know what his job is in all of this. He's just walking by.
Let's see.
What city? Houston? This could be Atlanta or Houston.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. It doesn't say.
That's all right. All right. As far as I'm concerned, this is real. That guy's
Yeah,
dressed up.
I'm gonna
He's
go.
at the school. Like there's a
It
school
does
sign
sound. It does
outside.
look like it's in the right setting,
This lady makes me think it's in Houston.
right?
Yeah, she's got everything Houston.
Also,
has.
her ad libs, like the It sounded like almost like a church sermon.
What? Why is she even behind him?
Let me let it play again.
In the classroom, on school hours, stripping down butt naked, bending over, and showing everything on the video, and all you could see was cellulite hanging in pubic hair. This is a disgrace and a
crazy.
shame. This woman obviously had lost her damn mind. She needs psychotropic medication.
The mournful
She
nodding
pulls out her
beside
breasts,
him.
and she's juggling them. Look like she's about to fall over. Then she bends over and pulls down her panties, spreads her cheeks. I'm not lying. I'm telling you.
she's
video. If she wants to be a porn star, based on what I saw in that video,
Maybe she retired.
I don't think she's gonna make a lot of money. Based on what I saw in that video, I don't think she's gonna be at
Her
the top
Flavor
tier
Flav.
status. That's a damn shame what I saw in that video. That's sickness. But now
Hilarious. This guy is. You can tell that's a grown ass high schooler who knows how to carry himself. I'm just telling you what's on this video.
Man.
If you're a real adult around that, you're like, bro, come on, man.
Yeah.
This kid's right here. Stop it. They're gonna want to see that.
Yeah, man. If anything, it's gonna cause
funny.
people to check that out even more.
What's that whale thing?
All right. This one.
This is whales doing stuff.
All right. I want to ask you after this. How do you think that you would fare in the same situation?
Man, if there's whales involved, so you got.
Whoa, beautiful, beautiful.
Oh my
Hello?
God. Is he on a surfboard?
He's on a paddleboard,
gorgeous.
dude.
Oh
How are
no.
you? Hello, darling. Hello. Look at you guys.
Oh my
Wanted
God.
to say hello. Oh, come on.
A lot of this comes down to how naive I am of understanding what.
Beautiful.
But we're not naive. We know about these
Yeah.
guys.
Look at you, darling.
Wow, he lived. I guess he lived. He got to the shore and uploaded the video.
Yeah. He took that very well.
Yeah.
The thing is that I really want to see killer whales with my own eyes. I definitely want to, but I don't know how like I wouldn't be that cheery
No.
if I was on a paddleboard and I saw them.
Right.
Like I'm excited to see them,
Right.
but I would be super scared over here.
This guy's
bro.
in the water a lot.
Yeah.
So maybe he has instincts we don't have. Maybe, right? He's like, oh, these are happy. I don't
Right.
know, right? When you see a dog and you know about dogs, you're like,
Yeah.
you could tell when they're upset.
Right.
He also has the tone of somebody who would definitely get
Australian?
himself eaten. Like, I think it's one or the other. He's just so dumb about it that he just might be like.
I don't think he's dumb. I feel like
He got on his knees, didn't he, at one point? it
dude.
looks
That's
like?
to increase your stability on the board.
That's definitely should happen, but you're also closer to the monster.
I mean, you were always that close.
It's
just
true,
now
but now
more
you're
of you-
headed. Yeah, all of you.
Yeah, but they don't eat humans. There's no known occurrence of a killer whale eating a
Really?
human in the wild.
Yeah.
Tillicum had a problem with his trainers,
You want to Google something crazy?
so he's
How-
taking out a few.
Well, yeah. I mean, anybody would.
Yeah.
That's.
You're taking an
really-
incredibly smart creature who's used to an entire ocean.
Any animal that's capable would kill you in that situation, right? Most animals don't have the ability. Even Tillicum is like, like it's not their first option. But if you have the ability, they should kill you. You're a friggin' captive in prison.
Yeah, exactly. They're in a
Yeah.
concentration camp,
Sure.
and
You're in us, you're performing for their friggin' I couldn't wait to kill a human if I wasn't a whale.
yeah,
Dude, if
yeah.
I was a killer whale,
you took them away from their parents,
I would fly out a friggin' cannonball on the crowd.
just crush a bunch of them.
And then all the rest of the whales would remember me. Oh, you remember Saya? That guy was crazy.
I like how your whale version of you also
Is a badass, dude.
is also Sayed.
Yeah,
Like,
Saya the whale.
you don't have like a whale name. All right, what do
Wait.
you want me to look at? What do you want me to look for?
I don't remember telling you to look for it.
You said you want to look up something crazy, and it was about killer whales killing people.
Oh, no, I was going to ask you how many humans are killed by sharks.
Okay.
Because I think it's a very low number, but I could be wrong. I could be confusing it with whales, which is 0.
How many humans are killed by sharks?
14. You know, that's a pretty good number.
Wait, where are you reading 14?
The big bold letters.
Oh, okay. I thought 69 confirmed unprovoked cases.
How many provoked cases?
And
42 provoked cases.
Average 63 incidents annually. There were 14 fatalities. So there's 63 incidents per year between 2018 to 2022.
That's attempted murder. Those are attempts at killing.
I wouldn't give them the charge of attempted murder.
No?
No. The shark? The shark, like taking a pass or biting a human in the ocean?
It's just like a taste check.
No. I just don't think it's like... I think they get to kill humans.
What do you mean?
I mean, what I mean to say is that it's not murder. If you're in there, right? And he's like, "Hey, look, you look tasty."
Yeah.
Right? That's the social contract of the ocean, baby.
Still murder. Like a lion murders a friggin' whatever.
A zebra?
It's still murder.
I guess I don't see because that one's part of the natural food chain.
So it's not murder?
So I say because it's a natural food chain.
What is it?
Because it's a predator that's eating prey.
Yeah, it's eating it. It's killing it. It's
no, I know.
killing.
I feel like I need another charge.
You feel like murder is a bad word?
No. Here's the thing, right? Yeah. We don't need to kill other humans. To eat them.
Right.
Or we don't need to eat other humans.
Okay, that's a great place to start. You've got me so far.
Okay. However, right? So it's not like lions, right? Could also exist on just shrubbery and grubs like lion.
Oh, you don't consider it murder because murder is like you killed somebody for no reason.
Right.
Kind of
Yeah. Right.
You know what? As a murderee, it's pretty much the same. As
potential shark
guys, I've seen Lion King. I'll shut up.
Just let him have me. Let him eat me. It's okay.
I'm sure they think they're getting murdered. He's like, he's on my neck. I'm totally getting murdered right now. Humans are like,
Circle of life is a beautiful
mashallah,
thing.
You know? I'm glad I'm here to see this.
Yeah.
Is what our humans thinking.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'd love to see an antelope get
Can
got.
you imagine as the animal getting murdered? Like, and that guy's just watching. He's taking pictures.
Listen, the zebra exists to be eaten.
But you know what? This is a very human thing to say. It's just like, oh, when they kill us, that's murder. But when they're eating that, it's a circle of life.
Yeah, no, that's why I was saying that I wasn't even going to say that it was murder for a shark to eating a human.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just maintaining the same standard.
My standard is sharks are murder machines. The whole time they're murder machines.
Dude, they're so proficient at it that
you start looking at when the megalodon came and stuff. That model is a classic model of killer thing.
Yeah, they just don't. The only upgrades was size upgrades or downgrades.
Even things that look like alligators evolved a ton.
Mm-hmm.
They don't look exact. They have flippers. Mm-hmm. They have much different leg to body ratio. But a shark looks just like a shark of different range. It's friggin' phenomenal.
Yeah.
Because then there's all these other dinosaurs that are like, oh, this thing. There's nothing like that anymore. Mm-hmm. Like this model came and went as a murdering machine.
Yeah. Like the T-Rex went to a chicken.
Yeah. But even like those water dinosaurs with long, like a pliosaurus or whatever, like they just, it's like a bronchiosaurus that's went into the water and got flippers. Right, like you don't have none of that. Like that's gone, right?
Yeah. Loch Ness Monster, though.
Yes, so that stayed. Mm-hmm. But the shark, it stuck around, and even after everything, the volcanoes, the floods, it's like I'm just gonna get smaller. Right. And I'm going to get podcaster arguing about if I'm murdering or not, you know?
Bro, some of the stuff is insane. Like their skin is the skin is like sandpaper.
Dude, go to the Asian market with me. You can rub it and you can believe that I do this fast enough.
I felt it. And have you you've seen the thing where they swim purposely very quickly through a school and they just nick a bunch of fish and they're just bleeding.
Wow.
Right? Because you could just cut them up. You're just sawing them up.
Wow. That's crazy.
Pretty cool creatures.
Yeah, man. I also their teeth. Well, you know what's stupid?
Just a revolving door of teeth.
I think that's crazy. But the stupid part is that, their whole body is cartilage. So they'll find a tooth of a megalodon. They're like, say no more. I'll draw the whole fish. So, is that... Because I just gave it a lot of credit.
That is a wild extrapolation.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Just from a tooth? Somebody finds your tooth.
Right.
It's like, I got you.
Right. The whole of it.
All of it. And they draw a whole different dude and with the tooth. And they were like, wow, look at that dumbass.
I think they have enough information on the fact that once when they got version 2.0, it never changed form. So they're like, this one's an easy one. Right. But when they, if they get
hands. It's like,
yeah, I think
no
they didn't.
idea.
The sharks didn't change that much, and as a result, makes it easier for you to extrapolate. Whereas, you get like a rabbit's tooth, prehistoric rabbit tooth, then you can't walk your way backwards.
that prehistoric stuff is wild, dude. Because some of those dinosaurs, like the one I was talking about, that's like a Bronchiosaurus in water.
Yeah.
That came from land.
Mm-hmm.
So it had enough time to go from water to land to become that, and then come back to water and change flippers and neck size and all of that.
Yeah, ancestors was like, pick a lane.
Dude, there's some.
Can we get good at one of these things?
100%. There were some that were like, they became complete reptile fishes, which is not a common thing now. Reptile fishes from going from water to land and coming back so long they became full, like a fish.
Mm-hmm.
It's not even like you saw anything of the last thing.
Yeah.
It's friggin' how long these things were around for is.
Millions and millions of years, dude.
It's crazy, dog.
Bro, what's crazy is just the concept of 1 million years. That concept is crazy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because, humans only live like 100.
Yeah.
So what is 1 million? And then you have 45 million years of stuff that is happening?
Right.
Man, crazy.
I wonder, even in 100 million years, like the resets must be maybe 100 though.
How would you know?
No, that stuff is proven.
No,
I like how you're. I mean, if you don't want to believe in science, but sometimes you don't. I'm down with it.
I'm not saying that I don't believe in science. I'm just
Yeah.
merely saying that like those are just the ones that they have evidence to to know what those resets might have been.
Yeah.
But you don't know how many resets happen in between the ones that we know of.
And the big resets, like the moon hitting the Earth, like that reset. I don't know what was on here before, right? Like that.
Wait. The moon hit the Earth?
Yeah, that's how it became a satellite, apparently.
I thought that it was like an asteroid belt that was getting pulled together over time.
And a huge rock hit Earth and became our satellite.
Oh, so the moon was built with an asteroid hitting impact?
I didn't say anything about asteroids. I'm just saying the moon, before it became our moon, hit us.
Okay, but that means that the moon was an asteroid.
Yes, or something. I have no idea.
Well,
I don't know what.
It couldn't just be a moon.
It could be a planet,
And then, well,
or it could be a rogue moon. Right.
Wait, no, but planets have a set orbit.
Right, but you can go rogue. You can break out of your orbit.
I guess.
No, apparently. What do you mean? You know things can break out of an orbit
Through
through an impact of another one,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like
That I know. Yeah.
solar flares can knock planets. I've been listening to bullshit podcasts from actors. Come on, give me some. But like, apparently, the moon hit the Earth and became a satellite.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. Look into that
I don't
because
know.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That is, a reset of a proportion that.
Did
like,
they mention anything about the moon?
No, they didn't.
What?
Whatever your question was, I'm not going to be able to answer it. But go ahead. I want to hear it now.
Yeah. So the moon being split in half.
No.
Anything about that?
No. How would they know if it was split in half?
I don't know, dude. How do they know whether or not the moon was built off of an asteroid impact that landed over here? I feel like there's things that they might be able to figure out, right? Based on observations. Also, we only see one side of the moon the entire time, right? Because the same face is always facing
true.
us, right?
Yeah.
So I was wondering if they had anything to do with regards to the moon being split in half, because I feel like
Yeah.
because it's mentioned in the Quran, right? That the moon had one split in half.
Okay.
And so I feel like there was new research that was done that's showing fissures that go across the entire backside of the moon. But I got to go and double check that.
We could Google
So I was
that
wondering-
stuff. It's the fun stuff,
Yeah,
dude.
so I was,
the backside
I
of
was
the moon
wondering
shit.
during your research of
Neil deGrasse Tyson said that one. But like, I looked into it, and it's like a very common hypothesis,
Right.
or whatever.
a lot of it is
For me, it's hard to say the word hypothesis, right? So like, that's the energy I come at. This stuff is just super interesting to me.
yeah.
I appreciate when people try to get this stuff totally right and wrong. I'm like, take it in. It's just stupid. The moon hitting the Earth is like try not to. It's a fun thing to think about.
Yeah.
It probably happened. Things have hit the Earth that would be that big. Why if small things can hit it, why can't big things hit it?
Yeah.
If you're going through an asteroid belt, hypothetically, right? Which has big objects, or small enough that it won't just, completely destroy your planet, but big enough to make a huge, like, it could totally, like, it's very likely it'll probably happen again.
Yeah, for sure.
This is all
there's no reason that we won't get hit again.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think that's the most, like, as sure as death.
Yeah.
There's going to be a rock that's going to hit us.
100%.
Right? So, like, it's just a matter of when.
When?
Yeah. Also, there's a couple of volcanoes that are itching to...
Volcanoes, solar flares, earthquakes, tsunamis,
Did you hear that the Earth, that last solar flare was manufactured?
I don't know.
I don't know if that was someone talking conspiracy theory or real.
I don't think you can do that.
DARPA. I think that was the name behind it. DARPA had done some research, and they were saying that some of the flares were manufactured.
I don't think
or
so.
Something.
I'm obviously talking out of no sense of anything. I was like, I don't think.
I mean, who are you to say? I don't know. Based on
I saw the size of the sun versus the size of us, and I was like, I don't think we're smart enough to make that do things. Let's throw some ingredients in it.
No, I don't
Let's
think
do some litter in there.
I don't think they made it so that it originated from the sun. Like, they didn't make the sun do the solar flare. There was something else that caused it, and then after they attributed the effects of electromagnetic pulsing to the sun, when it wasn't the sun, it was DARPA doing some sort of experiment.
Okay, dude.
Yeah,
I'll watch that audiobook too. I don't care.
Yeah. So now we got to go to Rumble.
What's that?
Rumble's like a YouTube. That's the Wild Wild West.
Oh,
right. They're big. You can watch whatever you want over there, bro.
No way.
Like, Kyrie Irving's documentary that he said you should look into. Yeah, you can go watch that.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't think that it was necessary to watch.
No, of course it's not necessary to watch, but
yeah, no, it wasn't necessary for me to watch, I guess. So
yeah. I don't think it's necessary, but like sometimes you watch.
Sometimes
none of the movies are necessary to watch. What do you mean?
No, I just didn't want to get to the bottom of it. Like, I had no.
Okay. You had no desire.
Yeah, I had no interest in.
I'm like, if somebody loses a lot, you're like, hey, what did he promote?
Right.
And why is it so? You know what? Sometimes you could watch things and you could be like, what was the,
Also, I've been really busy, so maybe that might be a reason why.
Not at the top of your list.
I can't just strap down and watch a 42-minute documentary.
Yeah. And you definitely don't want to have a strong opinion about the documentary. Like, I saw it, and you know what?
Like, who do you talk to about that?
More likely than the moon hitting the earth, if you ask me. No.
Yeah, no. But yeah, Rumble's got a bunch of it's interesting.
I like things.
What they have over there. That's where I would find my peak oil documentary now. That's where you would see some flat Earth stuff.
Man, the flat Earth stuff. I did watch some very pro flat Earth stuff, and the people are very unconvincing. Where I'm like, who's buying shit from this guy? He just has a tight shirt. They're
my favorite. My favorite is a guy doing an experiment for him to prove that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
Right, and he's following it to a T, and it's essentially something along the lines of like putting wooden planks into the ground at a certain depth with a hole, and then you look through your hole to see if the light shines through the hole of the plank that's 1 kilometer away or something like that. And if it doesn't line up, then you know that there's a slight curvature of the thing. I don't know if it's 1 kilometer, but that's the basis of the experiment. And he was doing this experiment with the motivation of a guy that's like, I'm getting to the bottom of this. It's definitely going to prove that the Earth is flat.
Yeah.
And that moment where he's just looking through the thing, and he's like,
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah. And it's just that realization.
Some of those are the funniest. When you can tell these guys are realizing they're,
Yeah.
We're dumb.
Yeah. And it's just, why did I go against everything? What caused me to go against everything I learned from like high school? And you had to make a completely different change in opinion.
Yeah.
And then you had to actively buy stuff. Oh, I do want to talk to you about something else.
Okay.
Speaking about buying stuff.
Okay.
Did you know that there is a TikTok cult?
Elaborate.
All right, so get this, right? There is a guy. He's an Asian pastor, I guess, right? Runs runs a church.
Right.
The church is a church / talent agency called 7M. And his newest cult activity, because apparently he's done some crazy shit in the past, is he recruits people who dance on TikTok.
Okay.
Right. And he invites them to join his talent agency with a promise of, we'll be able to connect you, make money, the same old.
Yeah.
Right. But along with that, you live in a house together with other dancers, so you can just pop and lock with your friends and shit.
Yeah.
And don't worry, we'll take care of the video, the lighting, the production value of your shit. But you also need to come to church. Right. And there's been people who've been in that church even before TikTok was a thing, because he had different ways for him to funnel people into his church, but it's been going on for a while. It's just that the newest funnel is through these dancers on TikTok.
That's crazy.
He's using like Christian sermons and stuff like this to slowly get these people to cut connections with their parents. And, for you to be able to save your parents as they are sinners, right? You need to stay on your path. Don't talk to them.
Yeah.
And continue doing what you're doing over here. And they take care of all of that person's money. Right. And so they essentially take like 70% of everything they earn, and they take home very little. So after they pay for like 1, 2, 3 things that are actually has to do with what you would, like your agent or whatever, then you have to like essentially like zakat for the church, and then another one for benedictions, and then another one for whatever. And he takes like 50% is going directly to this guy's pocket, but under the guise of it's going to various things to fund the church.
Dude, that's a cult.
So
it's such an interesting setup.
Yeah, amazing. Because it's like new age, right? And these kids, a lot of these kids, I don't know where their parents are at, bro.
Dude, isn't that consistent?
Because the thing is that the parents, some of them are kind of like they're further out, or they'd like, I want to go to LA. They go to LA, like the kid goes to LA by themselves, just trying to make it by themselves. And then, they don't have community, they don't have friends, they don't have whatever. They're vulnerable.
Right.
And then when you came to this church and it's like, wow, this is a cool church. People can dance at this church and whatnot. And they find their community, and then just grabs a hold of them. And there's only a certain few that realize that they were in a cult.
Right.
And then they left. And this was the reason why I like this documentary more than any other ones for cults, is that, when someone leaves a cult, they're like, I was brainwashed. I was whatever, but I'm forgiving myself, and I'm moving forward. Like I'm going to move forward with my life.
People from this are like, I was the dumbest. I mean, nobody would get caught in this. How did this happen to me?
They never say that, right?
Really?
Except in this documentary, one of them is like a Korean, they're Korean sisters.
Okay.
And one of the sisters is very straightforward.
Right.
And when she's talking about herself, she's like, I feel ashamed. This is like, you can tell, like, she's like, why would you have fallen for this? And the thing is that because she voices that to the screen, that's when I was like, hey, like, you were in a rough time. So I can, like, it's almost like if you give me that, hey, I'm dumb, kinda, for letting me do this, I immediately, my reaction when she said that was like, hey, like, you were 18. Right. I give you the benefit of the doubt. But when I don't know, this is what it is, but when cult people kind of like play it off like, yeah, anyone would be caught with this.
Yeah.
Then I have a hard time being empathetic, bro.
Every time, dude. I'm like, I know you were young and whatnot, but like, how young were you? Because this is what seemed to have happened here. But I mean, also my hat is kind of off to the guy, or it's probably a guy. It's always a guy.
Yeah.
It's rarely a lady. There's been 2. I've seen them. And they also were, something was very off. But it's always a dude, and he just was like, you know what? These dancers, there's a lot of them. And I think they're dumb. Because that is a part of it. You're like, who can I get that thinks this is easy to monetize, and they just need to come and live at this house and go to church?
And then it gets to a point, right?
And your parents don't know about it. That's what some parents would be fine with. Like, I guess that's how you do this. Social media, right? It's like Bitcoin.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And get this now, right? There was this big kind of like, there was a part in the documentary where it describes a point in time when I think the Rolling Stones did an expose where there was a few people within this cult that were like, hey, let me read some of this shit. Because like in the sermons, the dude was saying that now I want you to sign NDAs so you don't say anything about what I'm saying in the sermon.
Right.
And a couple of the black dudes were like, hey, I went to regular church.
Yeah.
There's no need for an NDA at a regular church. Like that was that was the thing where he's like, no, I'm not going to sign it. And that was kind of like the beginning of them realizing like, okay, this guy really doesn't want it known what's going on. And then so they read the articles and stuff. And then they said like, yeah, we're in a cult. We need to leave. So there was that point where there was an exodus of some of those people who had left.
Yeah.
You could still see they were kind of like, damn. Not feeling too good about the situation. But then the sad part is, brother, is that the ones that have stayed, they need to buy into the reality. Because they can't even accept that they were caught.
Right.
Now they're too deep. They're
You have
in
that
too
with
deep.
everything, Scientology, whatever, right?
Yeah,
Like,
absolutely everything. Where like no, even like the scientists that believe that certain theories about the pyramids that has proven to be untrue, they still hold on to it like it's some sort of like creed.
Yep.
Right? They just don't want to let it go. Yeah. So these people who were caught in the cult and they were like they're the most popular, like the ones that are featured the most, they make the most money. Those are the ones that want nothing to do with the family. They have decided that this is their reality now. And you can tell like that is the other human reaction that hey, I can't accept that I'm wrong and that I'm in a cult.
Because it probably also told you so much that it becomes hard and near impossible. Like,
yeah, it's an easy watch. Run it on Netflix.
oh, I don't know, man. I've never.
It's called Dancing for the Devil.
I saw the Indian thing where a whole family killed themselves.
Which one was that?
It's crazy. Just a whole family of Indians killed themselves
when they hung themselves in their room.
Yeah,
that's not a cult though, right? That's just a dad who's saying that he's talking to the undead.
See, to me, it's the buy-in. It's definitely not a cult, but it's just like the psychology of a group of people buying into something. And that's an honest mistake. That's somebody who sleepwalks like I do, and other people listening a lot. I don't know what happened. That was disturbing.
Yeah, he was writing letters to the undead, I think, or something. I picked
up my kid while sleepwalking the other night. Picked him up real good.
Okay.
Started walking around with him.
That's all right.
Yeah, I got yelled at.
No.
Later in the morning. They're like, do you remember last night? I was like, no. He's like, you don't remember me yelling at you? I was like, no. Which was not what I should have said. Should have said, yeah. He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh my gosh. Freaking, she's back to the same whatever happened last night. But I had no recollection of anything last night. So I didn't do anything weird. I just walked around with my kid. He's sleeping.
I mean, I can understand. You're used to walk around with him.
All the time.
Right?
I'll do it right after this.
Is it getting to a size where you're not going to be doing that?
No, not yet. It's honestly, I fully understand this is going to be gone in like a year.
So you might as well try to.
Yeah, I do more piggybacks right now than ever. It's fun. It's honestly like I know this is about to run out. This is not. Yeah. And then you're dealing with a kid, and he's got like whiskers coming in.
How much does he weigh now?
Probably around like 45 or something.
Eh?
I think so.
That's
yeah, like a plate.
That's not light.
No, he's like at least 40 to 45, mashallah. But it's a lot all the time. Like, to pick it up.
Right.
Because I'll pick up like my nephew or...
It's not a kettlebell with a handle.
No, that would be easier. But like I'll go to like one of our friends, you pick up their kid and you're like so small. Like a 1-year-old is so light compared to a 3-year-old. So it's very interesting. Yeah. Like, oh, I missed this. But you realize you're going to miss all of it.
Yeah, I guess that's just part of the...
Yeah, that's the thing. You don't realize, like, I'm going to miss all of this.
Yeah.
The thing I'm about to start doing, inshallah, is recording videos for him of these times. Like, just a sit-down conversation. Because I realize that I'm not going to be the guy I am today when he's anywhere ready to listen to me. Right? Yeah. Like, I feel like my brain's going to start slipping in a little bit and memories and stuff. But you don't have that same energy of a friggin', rambunctious young man trying to fight the world and stuff. You're like this older dog. So I was like, it's probably a really good idea to like do this on a monthly basis. And
because it's always cool to see your parents before you remember what your parents were.
Yeah.
And we only get access to that by looking at old pictures.
Yeah, but
I see my dad with like elephant pants.
Also, like having your dad talk to you when he was 40 as if you are 30 That would be a cool.
That would be cool. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a time capsule almost.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's exactly that.
It's a time capsule for both people.
For both
the
people.
one who's watching and the one who is doing the talking.
Yeah, and I think my kid would be more ready to listen to that guy on the screen than what I will be at that time. Because that will be like, this old guy is always telling me shit, right? Oh, this old guy's treating me like a man now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But like, that would be like some Inception, not Inception,
So what you need
but
to do
Interstellar
is
stuff.
you need to start writing down certain topics that you think that you're gonna need support with when he gets to a certain age,
Maybe.
right? So like high school, what do you think potential high school problems are? And then you talk about it right now.
yeah.
So then you got two people telling him the same thing
You
when
know what?
time comes.
I gotta start doing this because whether you're telling them about who you are at this time, because this is a part of your future and past,
Yeah.
that's one aspect of it. Other stuff is looking out for like life patterns and also political patterns. And then other things is like, this is advice for you when you're in high school. I plan to be there for high school, so I'm not. It's more like me telling him about us, him and my wife, me and my right now,
Yeah.
what I did.
Mm-hmm.
It's not. I don't know if I have advice.
Okay.
I just want him to know where he's from.
Yeah.
I think that's more advice than me telling him to like, listen, you're gonna feel like, am I gay? It's natural. And then you're gonna be like, hey, don't touch me. That's also natural. Sorry.
Did you have that? I mean,
Yeah, middle school.
Really?
Like, don't touch me.
oh, okay.
Most kids do. They're like, that's how you. That's where you have like fun homophobic stuff where you're just like, you'll pick on people for being different because you don't want to be different. It's like you can see that in middle schoolers because I hang out with middle schoolers because I have a godson that's around that age and whatnot. They're so insecure in their masculinity that they're like, they're freaking chickens. They're like kids, right? Like they don't know what they're feeling and their emotions and stuff, so they act a certain way. It's really fun.
I don't remember if I had that.
Depends on how aggressive your school is also.
Yeah.
If you have a lot of testosterone and stuff, then the size of an area totally makes a difference to the intensity of the emotions in it. Like a small village versus a big city, it does get exacerbated. Or a large house versus a small house. Like there is a certain intensity in those environments, especially if there's a large environment, many aggressive people.
Yeah.
Man, it's so interesting because I would go to friends' houses and I was like, oh, this is scary here. Like, and you go to another friend's house, like, all right, this guy's one drunk or something, but it's just a smaller place.
Right.
It's very interesting. And it's similar in like big schools versus small schools because you can find safe places in small schools where you're like, this is my routine, My wife had that library, teachers. She would hang out with the teachers and the library, and then she had these 8 friends.
Yeah.
In my school, you can find a place to hide at all. Like,
Because there's too many people?
it's over 6,000 students.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And it wasn't made for 6,000 students.
Damn.
6,000 students. My college wasn't 6,000 students.
Yeah.
Here.
Yeah.
It wasn't. That's a 6,000 full of students of different sizes.
So widely outnumbered.
From
Like teachers and whatever.
9-year-old to people who flunked and are like 20, right? Like ninth grade
adults.
to full adults.
With might be a record or two.
Full size of an adult, full beard and stuff of an
That seems
adult.
really dangerous for the kids.
Yeah, and they're not there because they're stable.
Yeah.
And then there's students that have completely different buses because that's how violent they are, right?
Yeah.
And they're in this general, but you have lunch
Yeah,
together.
you went to a crazy school.
But there's a bunch of those, mashallah.
Yeah.
It's interesting, but those kids come out and they have to go to normal society. It's crazy, though.
It's like they did a bid.
Yeah, it's part.
It's like a little bit of a prison.
I have things that I do that they did in prison.
Yeah.
I didn't realize those are prison things, but I'm like,
Why you ate quick?
no. Do you know what have you seen prisoners play like pencils on tables?
What, like when they're rapping?
No, just drumming.
Yeah,
Just
drumming.
like-
Yeah.
That was very common in my school.
Yeah.
And I later realized because some of these kids went to juvie, and then we had a juvie program at my high school.
So that's from juvie?
they would go to minimum security prisons and juvenile detention centers. I know this because I got to go mow those prison lawns when I was late
I
to
remember.
Spanish class.
Yeah.
I'm telling because not everybody remembers.
Yeah.
You're like, I remember. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I got to tell it. But yeah, you realize like, oh, these kids they're very, very used to being in the system when you go to a school that size that has police presence, and people that have been through prison.
No, I was just saying that for the pencils were something that came from juvie.
Yeah,
specifically.
Of course.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
that's where you learn it. Or you have a family member that comes home and that can't control their penciling
Okay.
because you get good at it. You keep
Right.
penciling. Dude, where you start makes a huge difference on like all this kind of
100%.
stuff. It's very interesting.
100% where you start. Anyway,
Yeah,
how did we get here?
We were talking about some schools don't have as much aggressions because I think your school, everybody was normal and nobody
Yeah,
was
it was
like,
a
don't
lot.
call me gay.
It was a
something.
lot of it was a lot smaller. You don't have like, for a place that has 6,000, there's so many miniature ecosystems within it, right? So like the school is one thing, and then within that, there's like mini communities doing stuff as well. Like it's so big that there's ecosystems within ecosystems within ecosystems. Whereas like a smaller school, you there's not that much place for all miniature ecosystems. You it cuts down to like the regular. So like you have your drama kids, and then you have your jocks, and you have the bunch of people who kind of not fit in either one of those categories. We're somewhere in the middle, and then those people were split between English kids and French immersion kids.
Right.
And then
That's hilarious.
that
also.
was really the only, like, as far as I can remember, those were the main delineations of our high school. And
We had race wars where the Mexican kids would fight the black kids on site. You would have to have nothing to do with anything. I know
Oh
you
my
had
God.
French kids and
Yeah.
English kids.
Yeah, but no one's fighting.
We had race wars.
Also, did you get picked up? Did the Mexicans recruited you?
obviously. Yeah. I was fast. No one was catching me.
Yeah.
I would see.
Wait, hold on. So you bailed on the
Oh,
Mexicans?
I would bail on everything, dude. I weigh 110 pounds. I'm built for bailing. What are you guys doing?
I thought maybe like
I'll walk around and have fun with you guys. As soon
Right.
as there's trouble.
I thought like once when you got sworn into the clique, you have to.
Oh, I've gotten my ass kicked plenty. I have no interest in getting my ass kicked.
Did you ever put boots on?
No, that's kids. Not something. Kids don't do that. Yeah,
Mexic-
kids don't
Mex-
have boots, bro.
Mexicans got on boots.
Yeah. You want to elaborate?
Yeah. So that. So the fantastic. What's his name? What's his name? It's not Khalid Yassin. What's his name?
No.
Ali Siddiq.
Ali Siddiq. He
Yeah.
went to the high school we would fight.
Yeah.
Across the street from my high school.
Really?
That guy. Yeah,
Yeah?
Mo Amr and him went to the same high school.
That's amazing. So Ali Siddiq is a stand-up comedian who also did I don't know how many years in prison. For possession of cocaine with the intent to distribute. And so while he was in prison, he became Muslim, I believe. And he has 3 stories that are posted on YouTube called "This Can't Be Happening" or "This Isn't Happening." One of the two. Check those out. Ali Siddiq has one, the most popular one, and is entitled "Mexicans Got on Boots," and it is a fantastic story. Dude, I'm so sad that only had like a 2-season run because I thought that was one of the very best, like non-comedy endeavors that was mostly just comedians telling stories. I thought that was so important.
Why does it seem like such a simple format that somebody should be able to?
Yeah, they should be able to do it again.
I don't know. Like it seems.
Joey Diaz has a story about him quitting heroin
That's a good one.
and his relationship with his cat,
Right.
called Superbad.
Maybe.
Um,
Yeah. Actually, you're right. It's definitely super bad.
It's so heartwarming to hear, and it's like Joey Diaz sounds like an uncle that you wish you had because he had like such amazing stories.
Yeah.
It's a story about him getting over cocaine or heroin. It's fantastic. Like they're long form things, and you're right, bro. It seems like it's such an easy concept. How come someone else just hasn't picked it up? But I feel like it was just one of those things where it was like that was a flash in the bucket or in the can or whatever. That they just did it. They did it right at that point. Whoever was doing the like saying like, hey, this is the concept, this is what we want you to do, this is your here's your microphone, this is the story, like this is how we want you to present it.
Right.
If it was Ari Shafir that was really making all of those things, man, dude's a genius and he should do it again. I think sometimes you need to give a little bit of a fuck.
Yeah, I think booking, knowing what you're seeing and booking the right people for something like this is a big part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not like those guys aren't all stars. The people who've been on that show is just people who understood the assignment really well and
Yeah.
they can tell a good. Some of them aren't even like full story comics. I've seen
Mhm.
a lot of guys on there that I was just like, oh, he just told a story.
Yeah.
Like, I know there's some jokes, but you're like, oh, this guy was, that was somber the whole time.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was a good format.
Yeah, I miss it, dude.
Storytelling, not a thing anymore.
I think that it's always going to be a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think that it's always going to be a thing that's going to have the interest of humans
Mm.
because I think that is the earliest movie. It's the earliest TV show.
Right.
The story at the fire,
Mm-hmm.
what's it called? At the fireplace, or where the elder of your group tells a story about something that was interesting and people will listen to with rapt attention.
Right.
I think that's always going to be a thing. That's the reason why we all love movies and
Mm-hmm.
people like books. They like getting their stories in different manners, but we ultimately like a good story.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it'll always be a thing. It's just that I feel like that was just perfect for a moment, and it's hard to recapture that because that really did like secure, like it put Ali Siddiq on the map, I believe. Like
Yeah, completely for me.
yeah,
It was one of those,
I think for a lot of things, I think the count on that is like millions and millions of views.
Things go viral, dude, when they're that good. I
Yeah.
shared that, there's those things like we sat here and I saw Thrift Shop here for the first time. I don't know if I showed it to you or you showed it to me, but like there were those things that like, and if I'm showing my friend, trust me, there's like friends showing their friends.
Right,
and
right.
That's how you get quality.
Bro,
What's that?
I think that's my phone.
Nice.
Whatever though.
I thought your dad got cooler.
Let that ring for a minute. Who would have thought when you were showing me Thrift Shop
Right.
of a guy rapping in a
Right.
thrift shop with a fur coat
I know.
that he was going to write
I know. The pro-Palestinian anthem of 2024.
2024
Right.
Hind Hall.
Yeah. I put that on. I just leave this on for me and my wife. There's no audio on. We're
Yeah.
like, let's get some views.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't expect that.
No.
Oh, nobody did.
No one did.
That guy
But,
went
that's
thrift
crazy.
shop. He said what was the gay song?
I don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
I think I know what you think.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was on Ellen.
Mhm.
And then he just started doing the NBA halftime show for the playoffs music like crazy,
Mhm.
and it was all under his own record label. And yeah, that's how you do any of this apparently.
Won a Grammy.
Yeah, on a Grammy. I mean, that stuff. They're like, we gotta give it to him. He's apparently, this guy has. Good for his friend too, who got it was because it was all Macklemore and Ryan
Yeah,
Lewis.
yeah.
I can't forget Ryan Lewis. He
Yeah.
was in the NBA commercials, not doing just little piano. And they're like, no, I'm gonna be in there. That's the deal. Hilarious.
He's this beat maker, right?
Yeah,
That's dope.
bro.
Way to bring your bro with you.
Yeah, that's what you could do when you're independent.
Yeah.
You could do anything you want.
Anyway, thank you, Macklemore, I guess.
Thank you, Macklemore.
This has been episode, what? Jeez. 448, people. Thank you for hanging with us.
Hey,
Numbers are high. We'll get back to you. Jeez, bro. I've been doing too much office work.
we'll get back to you.
I'm a touch base, circle back. I'll close the loop.
Man, close the loop.
I do all of
Yeah,
these, bro.
That's true.
When I lock in, I'm using all of these turn of phrases,
Yeah,
Syn-
I do close
synergy.
the loop too. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
synergy.
Synergy. I think we can synergize this.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang. All right.
Dude, people love that shit.
Yeah.
You got to talk the lingo.
Yep.
Right? Anyway.
I'm big on saying transparency equals accountability.
Oh, okay.
In my business,
Okay.
we say that once a day at least.
Oh, really?
Oh my God, transparency equals accountability, Yassine.
Okay. I don't know what my I have an internal mantra.
Okay.
Everyone will push their advantage. Even the ones that don't mean to be mean or take advantage of you,
Mm-hmm.
they will all push their advantage.
I've never even thought that thought.
Yeah.
What are you dealing with?
Everyone pushes their advantage. I think that very few people
Yeah.
have the self-awareness that they might even be overstepping their bounds
Mm.
and then taking advantage of their friend, for example.
Right.
Right? Because like their friend is always lenient about certain things that you do.
Sure.
And so you just keep doing it because you think that your friend doesn't take advantage. It doesn't
Interesting.
bother them.
It's an interesting way to look at it.
And so what I think, the way when I think this is like a twofold. Number one, realize that there's people who you are going to like even
Right.
that may step into your boundary.
Mhm.
And it doesn't mean that you need to be like that's it, DEFCON 1. That's the way how I'm going to deal with it with like that intensity.
Right.
It's just a human thing that sometimes people overstep without knowing that they're overstepping.
100%.
And so that's number one. And then number two is realize that sometimes the people who you like the most are the ones that you might have to talk to a little bit to see if you can find some middle ground if it's really bothering you. But understand that everyone is pushing their advantage, even if they're not trying to do that.
You know what I think, brother? And it's obviously like it's super cool to like understand how people's brain and everything's like a work in progress and whatnot.
Yeah.
I feel like if I thought that way, I would not have a lot of friends after a while.
Really?
Yeah, 100,000 million%.
This is what keeps my friends.
Possibly, right?
Yeah. This is for me. This is how I keep my friends.
But it also, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Because if I think about it that way, I can. Yeah, it's an. I mean, there's other things you have to think around that to give that a full structure and whatnot.
Yeah, I
but I
guess
don't think about anything that way.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But like for me, it's like a reminder, and that it helps me conceptualize things that like am I upset about this, or is this just someone being like someone just doing what they're doing, right? They're just existing.
Sure.
And then after I act accordingly, but
Okay.
it helps me stay even.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that's helped me a fair bit actually.
I'm pretty even all the time. I don't even feel like people press their advantage, frankly.
Yeah, but like not everyone needs the same thing to calibrate, right?
Sure.
Everyone's got a thing. Everyone like views the world the
100%.
different way, right? So
Yeah,
like that's one that's been able to like just recalibrate how you think about this, and then I'm better off for it.
That's the kind of stuff I want to put in a time capsule for my kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I have a few of those. They're nothing like that.
Yeah.
They're like more around like, if it has sharp teeth, like be careful. Don't do what other people do. That's a movie, stupid. And my stuff is very different than that stuff. Sometimes your wife is mad. She says she's not, but she is. That's all.
Are you gonna duck in and out of the camera when you're doing these
No,
things?
I honestly like I've tried to record one, but I was just like, how much of myself am I being to what extent? Obviously, when there's a long body of different videos, it's easy to like for you to give them and the essence of what you're trying to say and be.
Mm-hmm.
But and some of it is it's so weird just trying to think that you're talking to your kid in the distant future.
Yeah.
It's it feels very weird because you're trying to be yourself but you're also like trying to impart some wisdom on them.
Yeah.
But I'm like, and then you think back on it, and it's like when you have friends or people that have lost a loved one, you're like, no, I bet you they just want to see their loved one in the state they're most happy in rather than like a certain way.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a very, I don't know, man. It's humbling because I'm, older than most people that have kids. So it's just like, it's actually going to be necessary. So it's interesting to think about and try to execute on and whatnot.
Oh, there was the other aspect of the thing that I was saying.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's going to push their advantage.
Yeah.
Is also in the corporate world.
Okay.
It's
It's mainly in the corporate world.
Yeah,
Because that is a race.
right. So understanding the inevitability of people doing that allows you to operate in a way again. For me, the reason why it's good for me is because then you're not surprised by it,
Right.
and then you also don't have like an emotional response to it.
Mm.
So that's how.
See, to me, I totally understand the corporate world for myself as well. There's resources, there's marketing, there's revenue operations, all of that. In my personal life, I almost don't even have anything. I'm like trying to think of what I can apply it to,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, man, who is Yassine hanging out with? Who are these assholes that are pressing their advantage on this guy?
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't be able to identify a particular thing. I just look at it as like a human reality.
Well, that's, I'm not questioning you. This would be such an easy and fun conversation if you weren't on air.
Yeah.
Because it seems like I'm challenging you,
Right,
which
right.
I'm not trying to do.
Right. Yeah.
Like, I fully respect the way you organize your shit.
Right.
But I'm just like, what are these? Are they late to things, but they're not even trying to be on time? Or, like, are they taking, are they freaking with the AC at home because they know they can?
Yeah, no, it was none of that. I think it's also, I think also there's one aspect of it and say is that like, I don't have that much family over here.
Mm-hmm.
And through many reasons I won't get into and whatnot, but trying to make sense of why certain family don't want to be around you, for example, or things like that. So like trying to make sense of various relationships
That
and
I
stuff
believe.
like that. And so as a result, part of it comes from like kind of trying to like an effort to understand other people's motivations and stuff.
Do you think this was like younger stuff you were dealing with before you came up with this thought?
No.
Or is it more applicable now? Do you feel like more people, or was this a truer saying with more examples?
I think it was maybe like 5 years ago to 10 years ago. It was that. Like now, I think like I just kind of operate my life not with me. I know I just said that it was a mantra, but I felt like it's a reality that's in the back of my mind, but it's not something that I like say over and over again to understand the world.
But when something happens, the coping mechanism.
Yeah,
you're like, it's a good way to put something in perspective.
Yeah.
For
Also,
me, it's like some people are fucking, that's my saying. Just curse twice in my head and like, some people are shit.
Also, it's a reminder for me too, because like sometimes you might get too familiar with a friend or your parents or whatnot, and if they're really nice to you, then you might end up taking more space. Or like if your wife is very nice to you and defers a lot, and then you might be like taking too much space, and then sometimes you might maybe you're, because like sometimes I'm a little short or I'm curt or whatnot, and maybe that's not the right thing to do. But like I don't dislike that person, but I might just be pressing my advantage of the fact that I'll be like, this is how comfortable I am, so I can take the space.
Right.
Sometimes you got to shrink it a little bit.
Right.
So that's a reminder for me as well to like, hey man, you maybe you got to reel it in.
I'm realizing your saying is actually like an age-old saying.
What's that?
Some sort of like, sometimes you're a shit. That's basically your saying.
Yeah.
And you catch it like, you know what? Sometimes I am a shit.
Right.
And sometimes you're a shit.
Sometimes other people shit.
Yeah, other people are shit.
Yeah, I guess
it
comes down to
every
that.
now and then you press your advantage.
Yeah.
Depending on what mood and whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm a shit. Sometimes you're a shit.
Yeah. Sometimes people are shit.
Yeah.
is you know, you
it's
can
like
say
I love
that.
you, but
Yeah.
you're acting kind of shit.
But I've never felt like a friend take advantage of me, alhamdulillah. Or my wife take. Sometimes with my wife, I'm like, just because I take care of my kids a lot. By kids, I mean one, but it feels like three. Subhanallah. Like she's out at work. I know she's not trying to be out at work.
Yeah.
Like, come on, like, what did you eat? She's like, I had pad thai. I was like, friggin', bring me some pad thai, You just had pad thai. She's like, I had it at noon. I'm like,
I'm
"Fine."
struggling out here without pad thai.
Yeah. I had to order shawarma.
Also, pad thai is. Do you see the calorie counts on that shit, bro?
You're not supposed to eat that.
Bro, out of everything else that's on the menu that you could eat at a place that offers you also pad thai, pad thai is like a clear, like 1,200 calories more.
Right.
That's not good for you, dude.
Yeah. Noodles, I know most Asian food is,
No, you get rice with a little bit of curry, your chicken.
That's not what I call Asian food. I want to, you know what I mean? I mean some yellow chicken, some pink.
Bro, the General Tao chicken or whatever, the crispy beef.
Yeah, crispy beef.
You take the beef, right? You take the beef. You marinate. You put your marinade.
So it's not even beef anymore.
Right, by the time they put it, they put the batter on it. They fry it. Then they take that shit out.
Yeah.
Right. They let it rest for a second.
Yeah.
And then they refry it again.
That beef thought it was done. I guess it's done. Oh my god.
By the time it's done, you're just eating batter.
You're just eating fried.
With like a string of beef that was once there that's petrified.
If they did it one more time, it would be like a chip. It would be this weird, super hard Dorito.
And batter is made with like a ton of brown sugar.
Oh, dude. You can...
It is horrible for you.
It's more sugar than protein. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Anyway, I tried to... Like, this is like Lord of the Rings, the final movie. You just keep trying to sign out.
We were finishing up...
We try to keep signing off.
At the pasture, which seems like an episode ago.
This is episode 448. We are out of here. Take care of yourselves. We'll be back in a week. Good night.
Happy Father's Day.
Hey, happy Father's Day, Sayed.